making a soup right now because I need food, and I also don't want to eat at uni, because at uni I try to spend as little time as possible. I mean, I do love going to the library occasionally, but recently I've just been kind of a homebody. I love the independence that it gives me to just go to uni, be there for uni and for the purpose of me becoming a psychiatrist, and then leave and have my other life outside of uni. I sometimes get so panicked when I imagine myself being a person who talks about medical school all the time, because I do have an ambitious side to me, but I want that ambitious side to stay with the med school books. You get what I mean? I like being surrounded by people who appreciate me for myself, and I like doing things where I get validation from being myself, as in dance class. Today I had a dance class. It was absolutely amazing. I adored it, and afterwards I just felt so at peace and really myself. And I know my whole life pretty much I have known what it feels like to define yourself by what you do for a living, or in an attempt to soon be making a living out of your intelligence or out of your effort, out of your blood, sweat, tears, mental breakdowns, just all for the sake of studying. So basically I was always a very studious person. I told myself, okay, I need to study X amount of hours to be worthy of being a medical student, to be worthy in the eyes of my parents. Because growing up, the only thing I ever talked about with my parents was grades, and obviously if that is the case, for a child who is meant to have a lot of hobbies and a lot of friends, where the parents are supposed to show interest in that, that wasn't really the case for me. And so I have internalized this thought pattern. Okay, I need to do certain impressive things with my mind in order to get other people to like me. And when it all came crumbling down, at that point I was also in medical school in another city, not in Berlin where I am right now. And in that city, it started getting really bad, and at a certain point I couldn't rely on my brain, I couldn't rely on my intelligence anymore. What even is intelligence? Dude, I hate intelligence sometimes. I wish we could just all be dumb. Dumbness! Revolution! Being dumb is the new cool! Being goofy is the new cool. No, not intelligence. I know what it feels like to live in a society where a lot of people just love showing how intelligent they are. As in med school classes, sometimes people raise their hands and say the most crazy stuff with the most I'm intelligent face on. And again, that is fine, but to me it just sometimes really shocks me how far we have come as a society. So yeah, I'm making a soup. And I know for some people it feels like, for instance, my dad. He loves work. He defines himself over his work. He is his work. For a long time he didn't have any hobbies. Any. Recently he took up dancing. But other than that, just he is there to work. And then work could only get you so far. Because if you put yourself into work, if you drown in work, then you forget about your life that is going on. And then if your intelligence, or if your work ever disappears, which it can, because I got depression. I didn't think I would get depression. Anybody can get depression. I truly believe that. Or other things, or just age. Honestly, will take away your intelligence. It will take away your career. And who are you then? Who are you then? If if I could talk to child Leah again, I would drag her to a million hobbies and tell her, you do these hobbies if you like them, okay? You find your true passion. You do not need to study that much. Nobody cares about 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, and so on till maybe 12th grade, okay, 10th grade maybe. I could have just done anything. I think at a certain point, you're gonna wanna, or you should want to find a passion that you really like. And you should learn that your self-worth is not about, oh, the number of hours I study in medical school. And also, I mean, it is fine to base your personality around med school or around being a uni student. For some people that's fulfilling. Cool. For me, it is not, because it reminds me of the patterns that have shaped my childhood. And that is not something I want to nurture. So I don't. With every fiber of my being, I focus on saving my energy, being a homebody, meeting up with my best friends. And honestly, with one of my closest friends, I have never talked to her about uni. Never, ever. The only thing I might have mentioned once is, oh, I feel guilty when I don't study. But I don't even feel that anymore. That is not the case anymore. She just makes me feel so at peace, and with her, I'm just a version of myself who is really at peace. I see her, instant. I'm relaxed. Instantly. Why is that? Just because I let go of that weird medical school identity. I do not want that identity. What does that even mean? I mean, this might be the cliche of medical students is that, correct me if I'm wrong, correct me, is that they drink a lot, they study a lot, they are stressed, they try to play it cool, they try to show how intelligent they are, they want to make all of this money and maybe help some people along the way. They have these big friend groups where they hide themselves behind medical school books to hide their true personality. That is a cliche. My uncle he agreed with us, and he is a psychologist. No, but it's just, sometimes that is my opinion of medical students compared to the average student. For instance, psychology students, the average psychology student, a friend told me that they just randomly talk to each other about their personal lives. And that to me is just, wow. Speechless, but in a good way. So my friend, she was sitting in class, and this random girl she had only talked to maybe twice before told her, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going sober, I'm not drinking anymore. And she talked about her alcohol addiction. And I just want to admit, I want to have people where I can admit that I am a flawed person. And truth is, do I enjoy medical school? Yeah, but because I'm gonna do something with that in the future. You see what I mean? It's not that I do like studying. It is kind of, for me, a way to escape reality. Because I bury my face into my iPad. It's not a book anymore. It's not a book anymore, Grandpa. Grandpa, why are you watching this? You're supposed to be dead. Okay, so, and then you re-emerge, you have all of this knowledge, preferably, in your head, and then you go on with your day. But afterwards, what you're gonna do? You can't hide in that iPad forever. I think my soup is almost done. Yeah, so what I do is I pre-cook food for 3 days. For no more than 3 days, because in the beginning of the semester, of my first semester, now I'm in my second, I used to pre-cook 2 meals once a week, and I would freeze one of them and then put it in the microwave, and it was a disgusting mess. So yeah, gonna get my soup now. Bye, love you.